Matric pupils in Gauteng who have tested positive for COVID-19 will from Monday write their exams at Nasrec in Johannesburg. The pupils will be quarantined at the facility for 10 days. The department says this is due to the increasing numbers of coronavirus cases. For more details on this, we're joined by Gauteng Department of Education spokesperson Steve Mabona. Mr. Mabona, thanks very much for your time on this Saturday. Proof that the department never stops working for the best interests of our matrics and all our learners. So, the decision taken mainly because of the number of cases increasing, is that just among matriculants or among school pupils in general?
Well, we're looking at all the candidates that are writing, national certificate. You'll remember that we have over 235,000 people that are writing, including all those that would have learned, after school, So everyone, any candidate that tests positive will be transferred to Nasrec. We are working with the Department of Health just to make sure that we transfer them utilizing the ambulances, because we really need to make sure that we don't perpetuate the transmission of the disease. So that's why we make it a point that EMS is involved, and we are starting with the process. Like as you said, we are working every day. Today we are finalizing with the parents of those that must be transferred tomorrow to Nasrec.
On that issue, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but mandatory quarantine to many parents might seem like a drastic step. The parents you have contacted already for those people who have already tested positive, have you had any pushback from them, or are they happy for their children to go to Nasrec?
Not really. I mean, parents actually are happy that their children are given an opportunity to write. Because remember, they were scared that they were not going to be given an opportunity to write. Once the National Department of Education announced that there's a concession, they will be allowed to write, they were quite happy. So if you say to them, this is how we want to manage your children, parents are very understanding, because they need to consent. So we interact with them, they consent. So up to so far, all those that has been identified, they will then be transferred to Nasrec. They will spend 10 days there, depending on how they react, because the Department of Health will be there to manage the health necessity. So in the event they need an extension of days, then we'll do that. Because remember, we are on week 2. We are going to week 3 now. So we will be ending at about week 7. So we still have a long stretch.
Will there be ICU facilities on hand at Nasrec should one of those learners being quarantined, should their condition become serious? We know that with COVID-19 it's very unpredictable. You can develop serious symptoms in a short space of time.
But remember, Nasrec is a hospital. Nasrec is a hospital, is well equipped.
So that part of the facility has not yet been fully decommissioned?
No. The facility will be ready for anything. An exam center has already been prepared, and the doctors that are managing the facility were working very close with them. In the event of anything, if the facility is not capable of managing the learners, then they will be taken to hospitals. But an assurance is there that the center is ready. That's why we are taking all the learners there. And we are saying to parents, those that will be reporting on Monday at our schools will be finding a way of managing them, that they need to be transferred to Nasrec. Because what we want to do, those that have a high temperature, they will still be managed at the isolation rooms.
Okay.
Make sure that we monitor them very closely, working very closely with the Department of Health. Then we'll make a call whether they need to be tested. And after that, you will then decide if the tests come positive, then we will need to transfer them to Nasrec.
So, in other words, for matric learners who test positive, unless they either submit themselves for mandatory quarantine or are referred there because their test results have become known through the system, if they do not follow those protocols, they will not be allowed to write further exams. Is that the essence of it?
Look, we don't want to put it that way, but we're trying to mitigate the transmission of the disease. So we will work with parents, to make them understand that this is a decision that we took, that all those that are positive, because the Department of Health said to us, you can't perpetuate, transmission of the disease, because once one is positive, it's no more longer your candidate, it's no more longer it's our patient as Department of Health. So
quickly, before I let you go, sorry, Mr. Mabona, how many learners can be accommodated at the facility?
Well, up to so far, the number, we had about 10, those that we're going to transfer there. But the facility is huge. The exam center, the one that is already being prepared, can take over probably 15 when we look at the facility of the exam center. But if there's a need for us to increase, then we'll be in a position to
that can be
because the
expanded.
facility is big.
Okay, thank you very much for taking the time to come and speak to us. Unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there. That was Gauteng Department of Education spokesperson Steve Mabona.